Hi, everyone. This is Kathy Hunsaker, and I welcome you to our real life healing essential oils class. And we have education and all kinds of ideas shared on here. Tonight, we're going to talk about June 2022 doTERRA specials and our Father Day ideas. We're going to start with our Father Day ideas because I have a special person, Stuart Davidson, who's going to tell us his favorite oils, how he uses them, and what a great idea to give whatever he uses to men. Go ahead, Stuart.
Okay, so this one was rather easy for me because I'm thinking about it from a Father's Day perspective and a father's oil. So a guy's kind of, oil to use. I use a lot of oils. I'm using Breathe every day, and I've used ylang ylang a lot, and just oregano, etc. And I use Breathe every night because I have with the CPAP, so I use a CPAP infusion device, and I use the Breathe oil in that. But my oil that I would specifically talk about was probably no surprise, but it's the one that came out, I'm not sure how many years ago now, for Father's Day, which was the Amevai. And they had, I think, not just the oil, but the soap, but it's the oil blend. But I have been using that as, my other oils are all kind of more therapeutic, if you will. They smell good, but they're also therapeutic. And this one, I'm not saying that it's not therapeutic as well, but the reason I use it is because of the smell. It's got a great guy smell, and I think it's Amevai. I mean, I'm looking at the long bar over the A and the long bar over the I, so I'm calling it Amevai. I think that's how it's pronounced, and I'm going to call it that. So, but anyway, so that I've used for, since it came out. Becca got it, the first time. So you want this? I said, yeah, let's do that. And so I use it. I use that oil every time. So in my morning, when I get done, I put some behind both ears and on the back of my neck, and just rub it in. And it is it's like a cologne for me. I don't use any other cologne. I just use Amevai, but it has been a great oil for me. Can you smell it?
Nope.
Okay, so it's interesting, and I put it on this morning. So, but the oil that and I'm not sure if you can actually get the Amevai now, like individually by itself, but they came out with this great thing, which is a 3 oil discovery pack for Amevai. And so I have actually used 2 out of the 3 now in that pack, besides my regular mix of oils for that. But it's interesting because each one is quite unique on the smell. And so I have used, I'm using those now just to try them out. But I couldn't think of a better gift idea for a guy than to use that oil or that mix of oils with the triple pack they got this month. So that is my thing that I will offer up.
Thank you, Stuart. So I have a question. You said you use Breathe in your CPAP machine and it doesn't clog it up or do anything else? You're just able to do that?
Correct. So it's not in the machine, it's actually in the infusion device. So when the air comes out of the CPAP machine, it comes up the tube to your mask. There's a hose on your mask, and so there's a fitting that you put on that. It's called the CPAP infusion device. So you put it on that hose, and then there's a pad that is that you put in that device. And so I just drop usually about.
It's an adapter.
Yeah, adapter. And so I usually drop about 4 or 6 drops of Breathe on that, and I'm breathing that all night long. Before they had that device, and I knew that existed, I would just put a drop of Breathe in my hand, rub it and breathe, inhale deeply for 4 or 6 breaths just to really open my nasal passages. Well, now with that, you're getting that going on all night long. So that is a great thing for a guy that is using, or a gal that has to use the CPAP machine.
So why are you using one? Is it because you have sleep apnea where you would stop breathing if you weren't on this machine?
That's correct. So I had sleep apnea. I mean, I would snore. That was just, but then also there would be the stopping breathing. So that would be the sleep apnea part. So this has made our marriage much better because I'm not snoring overnight and I'm not stopping breathing overnight. And concerning my wife, who's like, are you alive or not? So anyway, yeah. So it's great for that. So I've been using it. I did go off it for a while to try to not use it, or to see if I could do without it. but I still had issues, so I had to go back on the CPAP.
Thank you so much. Go
If
ahead,
anybody
Becca.
wants to know, I'm gonna try to link the CPAP infusion adapter from Amazon. That's the best place to get it. And it's an Amazon best choice or an Amazon choice product. But we know lots of people that have used it or that use it, and it's great. So I'll link it in the chat box.
Yep.
Thank you very much. And we're
And
going
I'd
to
love
have
to-
to excuse Stuart because he's got to go to another men's meeting. We sure appreciate you joining us tonight and sharing with us. Happy Father's Day,
Hey.
but we'll probably see you before then.
All right. Thanks, Kathy. Happy
Okay.
Happy Father's Day to all the other fathers out there.
Thanks.
All right.
So in talking about Father's Day, there's one thing that I've done each year, and it's the grilling seasoning salts. So I put the recipe up here for you, and it's been one of the favorite. The men come back and they really say, hey, can I get another refill? And here's a picture of it. I hope you can see this picture right here. It's very easy to make and very fun to make. And we're actually going to have a class this Thursday where we've got some women, and hopefully they're going to bring their children too, because it is easy and fun to make. And I usually give them a card that tells them what black pepper, rosemary, and thyme does, the essential oil, so that they'll know not just the herb benefits, but I always use sea salts, imperative to use that. I have some other pictures here. I don't know if you can see them. This little kind of pink box or lavender box here has 3 oils in it. And I've asked Roger Garvin if maybe he'll share some ideas with them, but I remember him saying something about this. So if you want to start with that, Roger, and tell us about why those oils are important to you, and then go on and tell us your other, whatever else you want to share with us.
Okay, well, if my eyes are not deceiving me, that's an oil trio of lemon, lavender, and peppermint. A couple of years ago, we got it looks like it's made out of concrete, but it's a stone holder for the lemon tree or for the essential oil trio, and that's on our counter at all times. So, well, my favorite thing is the document 101 uses of lemon, lavender, and peppermint, although I think it's actually more than 101, but 101 was a clever title. Lavender, all things calming, and boy, we cook a lot and therefore we burn a lot. And so lavender is never far from our kitchen counter and most close, it's closest to the stove. Right after a severe burn, a direct application of lavender every 20 or 30 minutes along with ice, and in about 45 minutes to an hour, it's almost a non-existent burn. It's extraordinary. Lemon, 3 drops in water. The lemon kills all of the bad flora in the digestive tract, particularly in the stomach, but leaves all the healthy stuff alive. It's one of the best daily tonics you can do. Also, I had a friend here the other day who was working on our tankless water heater, and we got into a conversation about labels and stuff stuck on some of the tools and things. And I showed him how you can put 2 or 3 drops of, I actually had a bottle of 3-in-1 oil that was 35 years old, and the original price tag was still on it, and it was a gummy mess. 3 drops of lemon oil, and I wiped that baby right off, and he bought a bottle of lemon oil on the spot. He couldn't believe it. Plus, it's safe and effective. Peppermint is one of the most powerful natural oh, come on, it's the name's escaping. Well, no, it opens up the capillaries, vasodilator. Thank you, dear. Between the two of us, we have an actual whole brain. So, and peppermint for anything. It's for overheating. Put a couple of drops on a baby's, the bottom of a baby's foot that's got a fever, and it's going to drop the temperature down to normal in a very short period of time. But when using peppermint, make sure that you do not touch certain areas of the body right afterwards. Just have to point that out if anybody's new to this. So my favorite oil, Kathy texted me and said, would you share an oil? One of the most important oils in my life stems back to when we first got involved in doTERRA. I was looking to get rid of 3 mood disorder medications that I felt were, although they were working, they were not the healthiest approach to that issue. And I found vetiver, which is a grass oil. The oil comes from the roots and the stems. It's steam distilled. And one of the interestingly, one of the primary uses for attention deficit disorder and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And so if you can tell, I'm probably on that spectrum as well. But I used it for mood disorder, and I put it on the bottoms of my feet and I inhale it every morning and every night. And it has been an extraordinary blessing in my life. In addition to those benefits, it's good for balance, which is important to me because I pretend to be a golfer 3 days a week. And it's also a good termite repellent. And to this day, I have yet to suffer from termites. So I can testify that it actually works very, very well for that. You can diffuse it, you can inhale it. You can actually use it topically. It's been declared safe by the FDA for internal use, so you can put it in capsules. I've never actually done that. Inhaling and topical has always worked very well for me, but it's an extraordinary oil. If you don't have any in your arsenal, I recommend that you get some of that. And if the father in your life has ADD, ADHD, or is hyperactive, or is in any way annoying, you might try diffusing some of that and see how it works. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, Roger. So do you think this little box that you see on the screen has lemon, lavender, and peppermint in it? If someone gave that to you as a father and you didn't even know anything about the oils, but they told you what it did, or even the vetiver, how do you think they would react to that being a gift for Father's Day?
Oh, I think once they used even one of the oils, they would be thrilled. And if I were giving that to a father, I'd go to the website, print out the 101 uses, and include that in the package. Maybe print it on some fancy paper, and make it a package deal. And I think that would be extraordinary. Yeah.
I didn't even put the price up here, but does anybody on this call even know what I think it used to be like $20 or something. Is it still around that?
Yeah, it's around 20, I want to say $22 or something like that, but it's beautifully presented like that.
Yeah, I think it's a great gift. Well, thank you so much. Stay with us because we may have some more questions for you.
You bet.
So I invited my dear husband, Rick. Can you see him?
Everybody see me okay?
There he is.
Okay. So I wanted to comment about some things on this slide. And you mentioned the trio kit, lemon, lavender, peppermint. I actually use those 3 oils together, a couple of drops of each in a little shot glass of water. And I take that down whenever I'm feeling a seasonal threat, or in the spring when all the plants want to blossom and create all that other stuff. I want to get some relief quickly, and I take those 3 oils in a shot of glass. I also take the Tri-Ease because that's what Tri-Ease is lemon, lavender, peppermint. And those capsules work too. But this, using the oils in the water, works the quickest. And I want to talk about, since it's Father's Day, I like to get tools for my toolbox out in the garage. And I want to talk about a couple of tools I have in my toolbox. And one is lemon. As Roger mentioned, if I want to take a label off of a bottle or something else, lemon works great. I want to tell you a story about lemon as well. We were in Arizona one time and driving through the thick traffic as usual. And on the road was this big white splash. Apparently a bucket of paint had fallen off the truck, splashed all over the road. Traffic as it was, I couldn't avoid it. So I went through it and yep, I got paint splashed all over the bottom panels of my car,
And what's your car?
my BMW. Oh, I was sick. I was worried, oh, this is not gonna look good. So 2 days later, after we got home, I took the lemon out, got an old dirty rag and started working on those spots on the car. And it took the splashed paint off, but it didn't affect the finish of the car. So I love my lemon.
As
Yep.
much as your BMW?
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I don't know. I think I like that other object you got on the picture here, that Correct X. That's the, I actually have two more things in my toolbox. One is Correct X and Band-Aids. I'm always getting nicked and scraped and cut and scratched and whatever. And so if I do, I wash it off and I put some Correct X on it and I put a Band-Aid on it. And I do that twice a day. And within 2 or 3 days, it's gone. I love Correct X.
Thank you. So if someone were to give you this gift of lemon, lavender, and peppermint and telling you, have some information like Roger said, maybe a really nice card with 101 uses for it, especially what you've said, and the Correct X, do you think that would be a good gift to give to a father or brother, uncle, grandpa, any of those?
Well, if you're asking me, yeah, I mean, to get paint off of a car, that worked great. And it always works getting goo off of anything from a label. So I love lemon because it works so well getting that stuff off and it's easy. And then, like I said, I'm always getting cuts and scrapes, and I'm sure every other father and home mechanic does the same thing. And Correct X is going to fix that a lot quicker than if you just ignore it and let it go.
Thank you. And I guess if you gave your favorite man in your life some seasoning salts for grilling, they would definitely need some lavender go with it. As Roger said, when you're cooking, you need to have that right next to you. So thank you, guys. Let's go on a little bit more. Now, Stuart just actually was telling us about the AMAV, and that's kind of how I say it too. So I have one of those. Can you guys see this? Okay. So this is what it comes in, and it has 3 little vials. But when Rick opened them, because I wanted him to tell us what they smell like, one of them, he didn't see that it had a spray on it. He
I was
took
trying
it
to take the lid off.
he was taking the lid off, and he ended up with this. So be careful when you get them. But let's just see why they're pretty popular. Yes.
Kathy, you can take the boy out of the country, but you can't take the country out of the boy.
I know it. So this is a set of 3. It retails for $28, but you can get it for $21 wholesale, and it does have point value 15. It is the men's personal aromas created for the man who lives to the fullest. And AMAV Discovery Set travels with you anywhere and takes you everywhere. Now there's 3 different ones. The first one was Rosa. And as you can see, it's kind of a citrusy smell with a glint of metal. Now, I don't know how you get the smell of metal, but we did open it and smell it, and it smells really good. It doesn't smell to me like metal, but it helps with the essence of energy and success. So if you want those men in your life to have lots of energy and feel successful, then give them that one. And they do come together, so you don't have to split them up. The next one is Azul. This one captures the fresh, crisp aroma of freedom and adventure. So I don't know, you might be careful with this one. They might take off and go on an adventure one or whatever, but it seems like it's like they're describing, come alive as you escape to the azure waves and the endless white sand of a succulent sun-drenched beach. Wow, It's not succulent, secluded. Anyway, whatever. So the next one is Noir. Is that how you would say that one? Noir?
That's French. It's noir.
Noir. Okay. Which one did you say you like the best? That one, the last one? Rick?
I like that one. Yeah, I like the rose too, but I like the Nar.
Noir. If we can't say that in French, Priscilla would have to give that with that accent. But this one sets the mood for an evening to remember. So I encouraged him to say, all right, I'm looking forward to that. That'll be really nice. So there's some ideas. If anybody else has any ideas that they would like to share with us before we go on, just unmute yourself and join us.
I do.
Go ahead, Lane.
Okay, so I don't know if I'm showing up while I'm talking,
You are.
but okay, good. I know I'm doing the blur background, so I'm going to unblur it so you can see what I hold up. Okay, so I think the deep blue stick and an On Guard sanitizing mist, those are two, plus Paul's a CorrectX guy as well, that Paul loves having with him at all times because he has joints that hurt and this and that. And then he also just likes when he gets in his truck to use the On Guard hand sanitizing mist. So I think those are nice guy things too.
Oh, I agree. Thank you, Lane. Anybody else have some ideas that they would like to share with us? Okay, there are specials every month. doTERRA has specials. And this month, if you do your 125 on your loyalty reward order before the 15th, and you still have plenty of time, you get fennel. Now, not too many people seem to know what to do with fennel, but it's one of my favorite. It is emotionally uplifting and supports your digestive system. It helps balance the moisture levels in the skin, reduces the appearance of skin imperfections, and promotes an even skin tone. Now, I remember years ago when this came out, one of the professional people in doTERRA told me and was telling our class that if you are losing weight, something's holding that weight and they're capillaries. And then as the fat expels from your body, you need to get rid of those capillaries that's holding the fat too. And fennel will help do that. So I have a spray bottle that I have fennel and Slim and Sassy in that I spray all over me to help me with that. After overindulging in dinner, fennel really helps by just taking a couple of drops. You can put it in a capsule, but I don't even bother with that. I'm not a black licorice lover of that, but this doesn't bother me at all. I'm used to it. You just put it in a little shot glass and drink it down, put it under your tongue, or rub it on your stomach. You can even put it in your water or tea to help fight they said sweet tooth cravings. Now, I never tried that one, but I like that suggestion. And maybe put a toothpick, just stick the toothpick in and put it in some of your various cooking. It is one that's used in cooking a lot. And I know the fennel spice is used a lot in baking and cooking. The other one is you can take it internally. Now, they've said that a couple of times, so this one's very safe to take internally. And it helps ease occasional bloating, stomach upset, or feelings of sluggishness. I was working with a young man today, and he said he was very emotionally upset for the last several days to the point where he was throwing up several times a day and he couldn't keep anything down. And I said, let's try Digest Zen. And he took the oil and put it on his navel. And it wasn't even probably an hour later when I saw him again, and he was eating the first time in like 2 or 3 days. So that's pretty good. So let's, is there anybody else? Lane, do you have anything about fennel that you could share with us?
Yes, I do. I'm in a group and we were doing a chat and we were discussing the product of the month. And so we got a lot of ideas from probably 40 different people. And so I got a lot of good information about fennel that maybe typically I wouldn't have thought of. I only like black licorice in those Good and Plenty candies, the pink and white ones that I never buy anymore because now we don't do that kind of thing. But that I loved it in that, but I'm not like, oh, I don't buy black licorice and eat it. But so I was never crazy like with fennel. It's like, whatever, we have fennel and it's indigestion. And so, you know, whatever. I don't necessarily have a sweet tooth. So that wasn't a thing for me. But so when I got these different ideas about fennel, I really found an appreciation for it that I didn't know about before. So one was, you already mentioned the sweet tooth, but someone shared that she and her husband always like to have a little dessert after dinner. And that's fine every now and again, but they were getting into like the habit of always having to have a sweet. And so she had heard that fennel helps with sweet tooth. So they literally just put a drop on their tongue. And, you know, and her husband said it really helped me with, and, you know, drink water and, you know, whatever. But I thought that was interesting. So I have done it. I don't have a sweet tooth, but when I thought, oh, I want a snack, I put a drop of fennel on my tongue and it actually really, it does. It kind of, I don't know, it does something where it makes you not feel like you want a snack. So it is a true thing. And you could do it under the tongue or you could do it in a capsule, but if you put it right on the tongue for sweet tooth, you know, you're tasting it. So that was great. My favorite tip was a shot glass for all the immune support for all the things that have been going around since 2020. So you can put 2 and 2 together for that. So a shot glass of 2 drops of clove, 2 drops of tangerine, and 2 drops of fennel. And I would have never guessed, but then I looked in Boyd Truman's book, the Oil Smart book, and the body systems for fennel are digestive, endocrine, immune, and respiratory. And it's mucolytic too, so it helps break up mucus. So the shot glass for immune support with all the things that have been going on, clove, tangerine, and fennel, 2 drops each, a shot glass in the morning to give you a boost. And then just 2 more that are a little different. One is emotional detox. For emotional detox, a woman shared, she's someone who helps people with that sort of thing. And she has them she makes a blend in a roller bottle, a 10 ml of 20 drops of Purify and 20 drops of fennel, and then coconut oil. And then she has them roll it on the bottom of their feet every day for part of an emotional detox program. So that was super interesting. And I looked up fennel. It's the oil of responsibility, and it helps people who have a weakened sense of self and feel defeated by life's responsibilities. And so then it helps with reigniting a passion for life. Anyway, so that's kind of cool. And then last but not least, I don't know that any of us are lactating, but fennel helps with breast milk production. And with the baby formula shortage, that is something people are concerned about. And my daughter's a nursing mama, and she's told me about this before fennel was product of the month. But you make a roller bottle with fennel, clary sage, basil, and copaiba. And you can put, 5 to 10 drops of each in a 10 ml, depending on how, whatever, and rolling it on the breast and underneath the armpit and kind of massage in. And then 2 drops of copaiba under the tongue a couple times a day really helps with breast milk production. So there you go.
Thank you very much. Did you know that there's 161 published studies on the benefit of fennel? So there's another one that I'm familiar with, is my sister's brother-in-laws said that they take fennel and do 2 drops in a shot glass morning and night, and that helps support prostate. And so if any of the men, so that's another one that a lot of men suffer with that, and it's very beneficial.
Kathy, just a
Go
little
ahead.
interesting, a little interesting factoid. Fennel is in the botanical family of parsley. And so it's actually steam distilled from the seeds. So it's part of that. And of course, parsley is used a lot for digestive aids as well. And so that's sort of the connection there.
Thank you. Look at all
And
the good
I'd like to thank
information.
Lane for explaining to me how I ended up with such a love of black licorice. It's too late for me to talk to my mom about it, but apparently that's the genesis of that. And so many of us, see, Lane, you came by it honestly, probably.
Yep, you're welcome.
Okay, our next one, I'll get this, our next slide over here, is rose. And rose is one of my favorite oils. Now, if you were to buy it in the 5 milliliter, it would be like almost $300. So not too many people are doing that, but doTERRA has been fabulous about putting it in a roll-on like this and perfectly balanced with fractionated coconut oil so that you can afford it and you don't have to worry about having a carrier oil to make sure that you can put it all over, because this is the way I take it. See where you say you can apply it throughout the day to uplift your mood and for skincare and healthy complexion. So I take it like this. I just roll it and I make sure I get it on my temples, because rose is really good for balancing the brain. And sometimes I roll it on my arm too, just because it's so great for your skin. Now, rose is known as the queen of oils. And guess what? This month, it's the 10% off. So regularly, I don't remember what it was before. I guess we had 10% on, but I guess it was $70. And the promotion this month is $63. And the PV is 58. So it is absolutely amazing. It helps even the skin tones for a healthy complexion. You can put it on your pulse points, your wrist, your neck, your temples, and on like your ankles. Use it as a perfume. It has a smell that's kind of floral, dry, sweet. It's not a typical rose aroma. It comes from Belgium. No. Where does it come from?
Bulgaria.
Bulgaria. I knew it was a B. Thank you. And it takes thousands of petals to get that much of oil. So that's why, and it's, again, we say the frankincense is the king of oil. Rose is the queen of oil. Does anybody have any experience using rose? I think, Erlene, are you on with us?
I am. Yes, I've had a couple of experiences with the rose. First of all, several years ago when rose was introduced, if you were at convention, Emily talked about something that she had to be very careful and be compliant. And anyway, she worked with Dr. Hill, and he was the one that they really helped them come up with the rose oil and her son and his arm and what was going on there. Anyway, my daughter was at convention and listened to this story. And of course, I'm sure many of you were there and have heard this story and how effective it was for skin and the troubled skin issue that he was having. So when my daughter had her first baby, which was 2 years ago, her baby broke out in this terrible rash. And I know sometimes babies do within the first month. Anyway, she was just 2 or 3 weeks old, less than a month. I'm not really sure exactly how old she was, but she was concerned And so she called me, we talked about a few different ideas, and she decided to try Rose. So her baby had the rash all across her chest as well as all over her back. And of course, down her arms and all over her body. So she decided to just try it on her back to see if it might help or make a difference. In the morning, her skin on her back was completely cleared. So she knew that the Rose had done something, and anywhere else on her body, she still had the rash. So she continued to apply it. Later, she found out that her daughter was breaking out because she was allergic to milk. And once my daughter removed the milk from her diet, then her baby didn't break out anymore. But I think that there's so many different skin issues that Rose can be very, very helpful for. Now, I've talked about my sunscreen formula. I just love my sunscreen formula, and I'm really glad that I've had something to use all these years. But if you want to take it down, I have 2 ounces of fractionated coconut oil, 20 drops of lavender, 8 drops of helichrysum, and then I usually do 4 drops of either myrrh or Roman chamomile, but I always put 2 drops of rose. Now, if you only have this bottle, you can put, you'll have to open it up, take the roller top off and put about 4 drops instead or something. But rose is really good for skin, protecting your skin. And so to me, it's a very valuable part of my sunscreen protection oil. Anyway, I have found that as before we go out into the sun, we put this all over and then we put it on when we come back in, and we don't ever have burns. It's amazing how well that formula works. So I just value rose. I think that there's a lot of things that we can use rose for, and it may be more pricey when it comes to our oils, but I always tell people, you have it when you need it, and you need to get it so that you do have it when you need it. So that's my story about rose.
Thank you, Erlene.
Hey, Kathy,
Yes.
this is Becky. It's interesting because I just had like a skin cancer thing on my leg last week, and I love when we use the oils and we've used them for a while, and then we just kind of instinctively know which ones that come to our mind to use. And I've had a couple things removed before. I never thought about rose, but the story that Erlene just talked about came to my mind when I got back. I thought, okay, I'm gonna have to clean this. They left it as an open wound, and I thought I'm just gonna have to clean it twice a day, and then I'll pick the oils I'm gonna put on it. And rose came to my mind, and that story came to my mind that Emily had shared. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to use rose because that is, like you said, the queen of oils, but I thought it's got the highest frequencies and all that. And I knew that if I just kind of put it around along with myrrh and frankincense, that the wound is going to heal really well. So I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you so much, Becky. We appreciate all of you who have shared your stories. Anyone else have a rose story that they'd like to tell us about? Okay, let's move on then. There's one more thing I wanted to talk to you about. And many times, in fact, quite often, doTERRA has really top-notch, really good diffusers. And most of the time, they'll have an oil with it. And if any of you were able to take advantage of when they had the Milana last month or the month before, it has 11, I think, 11, let's see, 12 oils in this special blend. And it's, so it'd be worth it because you can't buy it right now. But if you get the pilot diffuser, which is a rechargeable one, it has a USB cable and adapter. And I guess when you diffuse in it, up to about 300 square feet, and it has 3 different settings. 2 of them is up to 6 hours continuous or 12 hours intermittently. But we've started using the Malama blend because it said it really does help with sleep, and it helps with so many other things. I don't know if you know some of the oils like pepper Szechuan, if I'm saying that right. It has the ability to stimulate the immune system, or to reduce pain, boost your appetite, increase blood circulation, reduce inflammation. And that's just one of the 12 oils in this blend. So this might be a really good time. Check that out, because I've got like 4 different diffusers going in my house all the time for different reasons. And at night, my husband and I both have the one that's the humidifier too. Lane, what's the name of it?
Dawn.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, he has one on one side of his bed. I have the one on the other side, and we both have our special oils, and we both get the benefit of them because it runs all night long, and our air is really dry. So we use that. It really does help. So that's our specials tonight. Does anybody use the Malama oil that they'd like to share with us tonight? Okay, our time is well spent as always. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you'll take advantage. Now, next month, we have a special presenter, and her name is Lane Adams. Is that correct?
Yes, next week.
Next week, not next month. Yeah, next Tuesday night. So join us, and she's going to tell us, and I don't even know if she's going to talk about camping or whatever, but outdoor.
It could be summer fun. It's just about how to incorporate our oils into the summer, and then some recipes and ideas for summer.
It'll be really fun. So really quick, these are some things I have been using this summer with all the things that are going on. And when we go camping, these are things that we take with us. We actually take the shampoo trio in the little travel kit, and I think they were telling us about this sunscreen. Are you going to talk about the baby diaper cream?
You can tell them whatever you want, Kathy, and I'll either say it again or I won't.
Okay, because the diaper cream that they have for babies is really good to be used as sunscreen. And the different throat lozenges, we take that, the on guard wipes. We can't be outside, like Rick was telling you, without the correct X. And whenever we take our grandchildren, we have to take the kids kit because they really love those oils, and we have to take the digestion. So there's just a few ideas that if you're going to go to the beach or you're going to be camping out, don't forget to use some of these. Have a great day. I'm going to stop the recording now, and thank you so much for joining us tonight. Hope you enjoyed the information, and go do some really good things for Father's Day.